Okay, first I want to start out with saying I in no way get paid by Tarot or any of their uh, websites. They don't sponsor anything for me. I buy things that work without spending a ton of money. All my reviews in the past have been to uh, help those that can't afford high-end line parts still enjoy this hobby. With that said, uh, Tarot-RC-Heli.com is one of my favorite sites for Tarot parts. If he does not have the part, if you contact him, he will order it for you. His shipping is really fast. I usually get stuff within 2 days without doing special orders. Most of the build I'm getting ready to show you all is in Tarot parts. The tail assembly that I've come to like is this one here. If you notice, it's a dual slider, similar to the Align, but it's by that eBayer right there. And what sets this apart from that Align is the whole tail assembly is $26.99 with shipping. It does come from Hong Kong. It takes about 4 to 6 days to get it here in the United States, but I mean, it's a good savings, and it is the whole tail assembly. Even the gears in there are pretty good. We're going to go over this for a second here just so you all got an idea. You need, we'll have to do it in the big picture here. There we go. When you get this, you need to thread lock everything. I mean, here, this had some thread lock on it. Take it apart and thread lock it. Alright? The black screw that's here, that's standard size. These little screws here are .050. They're really small. And you do need to put just a tab of thread lock on them. As always, thread lock in there as well. I took mine completely apart, thread locked everything, put it back together. And it's great. It does come with the metal tail boom there. Now, to my build. It's a mess, and I'm sorry. I started this build. I usually try to build something, do a review, give everybody an idea of what they can do for a reasonable price. I had enough parts to build another 450, just like I had before in my reviews, and the only thing I needed was a side frame. There was a 20% off at Heli Direct Thanksgiving weekend. I ordered these G10 side frames because it was 20% off. I already had the metal bottom bracket. This is Tarot. I was going to put it on my other 450. But then I decided to build a new one. I had already ordered these nice servos. They're KSTs. They're clones of another servo. They look just like the name brand, except they're a clone. They're .05 second, so 1 on the tail, 3 on the cyclics. They're nice servos. No, they did not come braided. I braided those myself. I braid all of my wires. It does protect them. I have some DS410Ms that I got from a guy, and he don't braid his. And I'm putting new servo wires on them. They're all tore up. You know, these frames can cut servo wires. You crash, you can tear them up. This protects your servo wires. Since I was ordering parts, I went ahead and got the fancy skids. I actually like these skids. They feel pretty good. They're stronger than one-piece skids that Align has. And I actually prefer the clone 2-piece plastic skids with the pipe, like on the bigger helis. They're actually better than the one-piece skids. They're more durable. But since I was ordering parts, I started to build it with what I had, and of course I had everything, but some of it was in plastic, like the battery tray, the anti-rotation. I didn't have a DFC head, so I just decided if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the way I want to. So we went all metal on this thing. Metal battery tray. I had the metal bottom plate. I got the skids. Now, if you get the metal bottom plate, okay, It comes with everything but the canopy clip. You have to have that. So if you decide to get this plate, you got to have this clip. So moving on, 121.2 slant gear. I only fly Success on my 450s these days. If you're not flying Success on your 450, convert it up. You'll be happy with what you get out of it. I'm putting an 1860 turret motor in here. With the right pinion, it's perfect for me. 3250 seems to be the sweet spot on my head. I love that head speed. That's what I fly. So I am using a Raycon adjustable motor mount in here. It's not here yet. It should be here tomorrow. The guy ships them out of New York. He's on eBay. And the way it works, just like the KDE one does for the bigger machines. You put the motor on the plate. There's 2 rails here, and it slides on the rails. You tighten it down. And I mean, no matter what pinion on it, anything, it makes it perfect. You can actually just take the battery tray off, loosen these screws up on each side, slide the motor forward, take your pinion off, change your pinion, put it on, slide it back up, mesh it against the gears, and you're done. So I got the motor. I'm waiting on the battery, the motor mount, which will be here tomorrow. I went ahead and went with the newest version of the Turret DFC head. I've already thread locked all this. I got their DFC swash. I needed a swash to go with it, so the DFC swash is actually $4 cheaper than the regular swash. I don't think 2 balls make that big a difference, but you know, I didn't need the extra anyway, so there it is. You really can't see it, but I even got the Turret bearing hub in there. The shiny metal hub there. You can see it just barely. It's a nice bearing hub. It fit good. Metal anti-rotation. I'm gonna pop this off. This is Turret's newest rear tail gearbox. I have this in my other 450. It's really nice. And the way this works is you take out this top screw here, the same on the other side, and this one screw here, and this pops off. And then you can actually take out the gear and replace the gear without taking the whole gearbox out of the heli. I've done it. It's nice. That way I don't have to tear the whole thing down. And once you pop this gear out, you can actually get that other gear right out of there. It slides right out. It's really nice. It's in bearings, but it slides right out of the tube. And then when you put your new gear in, you just put that back on, you screw it down, and you're good. This screw is a different screw, and if you take it out and go, oh my god, if I lose that, I'm screwed. You can use a regular screw from a 450, or if you ever do lose this screw, it is the same as a flame wheel 450, which is a quad. It's what's in those kits. Turret also sells a clone kit of that, which I'm sure that's where they got the idea to use that screw. So, moving on. On the sides of this, the really nice thing about this gearbox, you can tighten up all 6 screws, and these 2 screws right here are the only 2 you got to loosen up to take this boom out. Once they're loose, you can just pull that boom out, because it's slit if you look on the top and the bottom right there. So you just loosen these 2 up and the boom will come out and you can do what you need to do. Okay. It is a pro frame. I hate mounting the servo down here. It's hard to adjust. It's hard to get centered. You know, if you got to move the horn, you got to take it out, move the horn, put it back in, put it all back. I always put my servos on the tail, and it's always worked for me. If you ever have to take the tail off, you can loosen the screws, pull the wire out, which I route it through here to keep it neat, but excuse me. You can pull this off, and when you put it back on, you don't have to recenter the tail because everything's on the tail, so you didn't throw nothing out of whack. And if you notice, I routed all my wires inside the frame, and they all do clear the gears and everything. So, but with the anti-rotation on, we will have a nice clean install, the gyro will go there, and all the servo wires will plug straight in to the gyro. All nice, neat, and pretty. So, no wires protruding. You can do this with any 450 or any machine. You just got to be careful how you route your wires. Make sure you clear your gears. And I even went as far as to get the carbon push rod instead of metal push rod. The metal one works fine, but I went ahead and went with carbon. I have the metal end, boom support, carbon. Oh, Trex newest boom support holder there. If it was metal, I tried to put it on the machine. I wanted a nice solid bird. There it be. If you get any new bearing blocks, Align makes a DFC bearing block, which that's what this is. Tarrant now makes one. They didn't have it out when I bought this, but what's nice about this, you take out this bottom screw and that bottom screw and that center screw, and these servos will pull out with this front part of this brace, pull straight out and leave all these in the frame. So you can actually take your servos out or flip them up and work on the horns, and then flip them back down, and you don't have to go through all the trouble of taking all this off and trying to get to these little screws and get those out of there. We all know what a pain it's been. This is fabulous. They should have done that a long time ago. Everybody with a 450 should have this new bearing block design. It's a DFC bearing block design. It even, with this servo for the elevator, if you look, it's recessed into the frame. So it actually gives you a true straight up and down. With that arm on there and this here, the arm will come on, come out, the ball will go on the back side of the arm, and it'll be straight up and down now. So the servo being slightly cocked about 3 degrees and this going, you know, it's going to be a nicer design. It's clean. I like that a lot. So if you have any questions, want to know anything about parts, I will finish this. My gyro I'm going to use, I have two choices. I do, of course, have a Tarrant ZYX-S and a Spectrum satellite I can put on it. Or I have a Icon Brain, well, Icon/Brain. It's a renamed Brain is all it is. Yeah, MSH Brain. I'll probably put the Brain on there because it does bank switching like my V-bars do. And I love to be able to switch my flight modes and keep going. I mean, you can do a lot of it on the radio, but when you do it in the gyro, it just seems like it's a more solid machine. So when I get her together, I'll take the GoPro, I'll put it on a tripod and try to get some video, since I can't ever get nobody to do no video with me. Thank you. Have a nice day.